Hello, you guys. So, I just started off this live. My bun is so crooked right now, but we're gonna ignore that. Um, I'm at home. I just got done doing some content earlier today, and I decided to go live on YouTube. I've never done this before, so this is my first time. So bear with me. My name is Jayla. Thanks so much for joining my live. If you joined a little late, that's fine. Your girl is cooking some brownies. But I am talking about today things I wish I knew sooner in life, just in life in general. Um, I am a woman of, I'm a woman in my late 20s, and I've learned a few things over the years. Both of my parents are deceased, and now I'm fending in this world for myself. Like I'm learning to navigate the world by myself without parents' guidance, but I have other people's guidance in my life, family, friends, things of that nature. But a lot of the decisions I make today is based off of my own understanding and logic of life and what my parents or my mom instilled in me. For the most part, grandparents and everybody else who played a major part in like my upbringing. But at this point, everything they taught me kind of goes out the window because it's just kind of on me. Like they taught me what they knew best, and sometimes you have to learn to pivot from the advice that was given to you. So, as a woman that understands that the world does not stop for me, that life continues to go on, has proven to me time and time again that your girl gonna have to go out there and make some hard choices in life. And ultimately, it does boil down to the people around you. It boils down to the information that you're always taking in. Those things matter. Sorry, y'all. I need some light because the lighting sucks. But um, those things matter. Having a good friend group, having the right people around you, having the right type of mindset matters. Being in the right type of relationship with a partner who affirms you, and just sometimes like you affirming yourself. Sometimes it's not even about partners; it's about you. Um, having good discernment in certain situations matters. And one thing that I've learned over the years is always trust your gut, question everything, like literally question everything. Pay attention to things as well. Um, question people, question question a lot of things. Don't just take things at face value. Give people so many benefits of the doubts. Set boundaries. Go to therapy. Um, give yourself and other people around you grace. Those things matter the most, but extending grace to yourself is one of the biggest things that I've learned about life so far. Is that you really need to be a person who can extend grace to yourself as much as you give to other people. You give people chance after chance after chance after chance in your life, and they've done you wrong. You have to extend the same type of grace to yourself because guess what? You're still learning. You're still making mistakes. You're still human. You still have to give yourself the grace that you wish that you grant other people. Let's go with that. That you grant other people for their wrongdoings or mistakes or shortcomings or shortfalls. Those things are very, very important to your well being. And I know we're typically a lot more critical on ourselves, but one thing that I realized that also helps you in that area of life is listening to self help and podcasts that align with whatever you're trying to go through. Um, I like to listen to Be Balanced Black Girl, my sister's podcast. I listen to a couple other podcasts, honestly, that just really resonates to the person I am becoming or the person that, I need to be. And sometimes it's just like a great conversation or a different perspective that I never thought of. That's like, oh, okay, that's a good idea. Like I never thought to do that. Or like one podcast I was listening to was like one way to make your house feel luxurious even though you're living on a budget. It was like your home has to smell good. Well, babe, you already do that. Correction myself. I already do that. Like I like candles. I have plug-ins all throughout the house so it smells like really nice. Like, I love my apartment. Every time somebody comes over, it's like, oh, it smells so good. What's that scent? What are you burning? What is this? Get wax warmers. Like, elevate yourself. Elevating yourself isn't just looks, it's also mindset. It's also mentality. It's also the people around you. All of those things take place in your life. As a woman, baby, let me tell you something. You got to be up here because nobody's going to ever give you grace. And I just feel like, as anybody, nobody's going to give you the amount of grace that you're going to give yourself. Somebody's always judging unless you, and you have to really tune out judgment because everybody has their own problems that they're going through. And why does that matter? Why does somebody else's opinion matter to you? Why does somebody else having an idea of what your life should look like matter to you? They're living their life. They've lived their life. They're living the life that they chose to live. You can always change if you don't like what you're doing. Okay? All right. That's all I had to say on that topic. Um, but I am a firm believer in just always taking care of my mental health. Like, I literally believe that mental health is the most pivotal thing that you can encounter, because if you have really good mental health, your physical health is great. If your physical health is great, everything else in your life, you go choose different foods. You're going to make better decisions when it comes to friends and families and arguments and things and that and blah, blah, blah. Like, people don't realize that everything starts in your mind. Like, everything starts in your mind. The way you start something is the way you end something, but your brain is literally what starts everything. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is breathe. That starts with your heart. That's something you can't control, but you can control like the thoughts that goes through your mind all the time. And babe, if you're thinking negative all the time, you'll get negative outcomes, and you're always going to see the negative in things. Like, you're always going to be like, oh my god, bad things are happening to me. I never understand like why I'm always going through these bad things. Sometimes you got to think of the positive things. Like, I woke up this morning, I brushed my teeth, I got hot water, I have food in my fridge, I have clean sheets and this and that. Like, think of all the positive things that's happening around you. Think of all the great things that's happened before this one moment. This is just a moment. This is not forever. This is a moment in your life. It's not set in stone, and you can always change those things. Always. Y'all need to, yeah, let's do that. So, I'm a firm believer in the power of pivot, and I'm a firm believer that mindset matters over everything. And to surround yourself with people who are working towards becoming a better version of themselves. Somebody could become a better version of themselves physically, somebody can become a better version of themselves mentally, somebody else can become a better version of themselves financially. But sometimes that one area that they lack in, if they're not trying to show improvement there, sometimes it might be for you to lean in with the knowledge that you have, or kind of pour into yourself and other people around you, so that your circle, your friend group, your this and that does elevate and grow with you, or else they gotta go. And people doing the same song and dance throughout their life, baby. Sometimes you just gotta know when to cut people loose, or allow them to change titles in your life. Like, oh, this was my best friend. It's no longer my best friend. This is an acquaintance. This is somebody I grew up with. This is somebody, who knew me when I was such and such and such and such. Y'all are making brownies, and I'm excited about these brownies. Yes. So I'm gonna go back to my room in a second. But once these brownies are done, we are going to get off of this live. But at the end of the day, I just really feel like genuinely it matters. Mindset matters. Who you surround yourself with matters. What you pour into yourself, what you listen to matters. These things I wish I knew sooner. I wish I would have sat down when I was younger and listened to, you know, positive words of affirmations in the morning. I wish that I knew about self-help books at 12. I wish I would have known, surrounding myself with the right friend groups matters. Not saying I didn't know that, but it really makes a difference now in my 20s. almost in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? Like that matters. It matters who you date. It matters who you hang out with 24/7. It matters what music you listen to. I'm not saying that you can't listen to it. I'm just saying you need to listen to the moderation. It matters. Those things matter all the time. And people try to just be like, oh, it's nothing. It does matter because that's all you consume. Anything you consume is what you're always going to like push out. If you listen to, um, I'm a beat somebody with a bat, guess what? Now you're talking about, oh, I'll fight you because you got me messed up, blah, blah. When that's not your normal character. That's not your normal behavior. Like you was always calm, you're always calm, you're always kind, you're always like, let's keep the peace, you guys. And now you're talking about, girl, I'm about to go beat him up. Like, what? No. So making sure that you really are conscious of what you're intaking does matter. Who you surround yourself with does matter. And people take those things for granted. Alexa, can you turn off kitchen pendant light?
Okay.
Alexa, turn off kitchen light.
Okay.
Alexa, turn off kitchen light.
Okay.
Thanks. So those things matter. And I wish I would have known that, like I said earlier, in life. I'm not saying like any of my friends are terrible because I think I really chose really good friends over the years. Excuse me. But have I seen like my friend group change? Absolutely. I think we shift apart, we grow apart, and it's not any bad blood. It's not um anybody's fault or mistakes or anything like that. But I think that when you're growing as a person, you guys are growing at different paths. Now, of course, relationships take work. So the more relationships, the more you're concerned about the relationship, the more work and effort that you have to put into that relationship. And that goes for anything platonic, friendships, relationships, marriages, things of that nature. I think those things really take work. And sometimes people forget that you have to put in work for everything. So, being a girl's girl, like I love my girlfriends. Um, there are things that I don't tell them. And I think that matters too. Like knowing how much of your life to share with your friends matters. How do I say this? I love my friends and I share things with them that I'm comfortable enough to share with people. And I'm not just going to say friends. I believe in sharing with people when I'm comfortable enough to share. So if I'm comfortable enough to share that, I scraped my toe last night and I don't mind it being told to somebody else, cool. Like that's something I don't mind sharing. But telling somebody like, "Oh, girl, I got staph infection on my toe, and I don't want nobody else to know because this and that." Those things matter. That can change your whole entire relationship in a blink of an eye, just because you didn't use your own discernment to figure out your own problem. And that's why I also think people need therapists. You need therapists to have a non-biased, I'm trying to think of it like of course a non-bias, but a non-judgment tone or message for you when it comes to the conversation being had, or you're not concerned about who they tell because you don't know that person. And that's why I love therapy. Like I believe that everybody should go to therapy. And I always say this, like the people who are in therapy doing the work are not the ones who need therapy. Not saying like they don't, but the people who they typically come in for, or whoever they're like healing their trauma from, are the ones that needed to be in therapy. But therapy is definitely new and it's very prevalent. Oh Jesus, I can't talk today. It's very um non-prevalent. You know what? We're gonna switch words. It is non-existent. There we go. I'm gonna change the word for a second because I can't talk. Alexa, turn off timer. Um, in the Black community, we don't really discuss therapy like that. Um, it's a taboo thing. It's always like, oh, go to God, and God will answer your problems and fix your problems. And I'm not saying that's not true, but I do believe that God sends the right people in your life, and God will connect you with the right people at the right time and the right season in your life when you need certain things, such as therapy. And nothing's wrong with that. Nothing's wrong with you outsourcing and also still talking to God. Oh, all right. My brownies are here. So I'm done with this um, live. I'm about to eat my brownies. I hope you guys enjoyed this TED Talk with Jayla. Um, you guys will definitely get more content from me coming up later this month. But you guys, these are just some things I wish I knew sooner about therapy, about life, about people, about mindset. Those things matter. So you guys have a wonderful day, a blessed day. Bye. And